So I was watching an interesting video, and the guy was talking about the relationship between men and women. And he was saying that people in power, the powers that may be, use social engineering, entertainment, movies, TV, video games, books, whatever, okay? Whatever method possible, popular entertainment, they use that to make women hate men, okay? Now, there might be some truth to that, but I got a couple of problems with that. Number one, you can't teach someone something that they're not receptive to. Okay. For me to teach you to dislike somebody, whether it's another race of people, the opposite sex, different religion, whatever, the poor, the rich, you have to be receptive to that to some extent. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, I don't really necessarily think that's the biggest issue. Yes, now I'm not saying that you don't have some people in power that want to divide men and women, because I believe that. Okay. I think you got people in power who seem to, for whatever reason, want to divide people. Male versus female, black versus white, rich versus poor, majority against the minority. Okay. They're always trying to turn somebody against each other and make people hate each other or go against each other. Personally, I think the people in power want that because if we're fighting each other, we're not fighting the people in power. Okay. We're not paying attention to what they're doing. It's like you got the rich turning the middle class against the poor. They tell the middle class, hey, these poor people are the problem. Okay. Not us. Don't look at us. Y'all fight each other. That's honestly what I think. But now, in the situation of women, I don't necessarily think that's the issue. Okay. Here's the thing. Okay. I don't think the majority of women hate men. Okay. I think there are some women who do actually hate men, but I don't think that's the case with the majority of women. All right. Here's the biggest problem, in my opinion. You have a comfortable environment that was created, and women are in this environment, and they quite frankly just don't need you the way they used to. Okay. Um, you have a situation where the average woman does not need a man the way she did decades ago or centuries ago. Yeah, the average woman doesn't need a man the way a woman needed a man centuries ago or even decades ago. Okay, the average woman can go out there and get a job, make her own money. Um, she can pretty much do anything she wants without directly having to deal with men. Okay, she can drive, she can vote, she can own property, she can do whatever she wants. Okay, she can go to school and get a good education. She can get most jobs. Um, if she can get the money together, she can go and start her own company. So there's a lot more options in this environment than there used to be decades or centuries ago. Okay, and then for all the talk of crime and all that, yeah, it's still crime in America, but it's still probably less violent than it was centuries ago. You're not, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, the average woman don't have, it's not as worried about violence as she was back in the day. And let's be honest, most women, if you they're smart, they can avoid a lot of mess. Stay off the streets at night. Stay in well lit areas. Okay, live in a nice neighborhood, or buy a gun. She can buy a gun and light a fool up if she need to. Okay, so like I said, she can go live in a nice neighborhood if she can afford it. So the average woman isn't as worried about stuff as crime as she was centuries ago. She's in a much more safe environment. Okay, so the average woman doesn't have to worry about things to the extent that maybe a woman did centuries ago. And she does not have to directly rely on men like she used to. Now you notice I said directly rely. Okay. Indirectly, of course, they still rely on men. Um, Men are the ones who repair the roads, keep the electric grid going. Most police officers are probably still men. Men are the ones who still go out there and fight the wars. A lot of the essential services in this country are still done by men. I think men are still the majority of the farm workers. Pretty much any important structural job is pretty much done by men. Okay, but at the end of the day, those are the men that the woman don't generally have to deal with. Okay, if she doesn't go out there and date and marry a police officer, he's not going to stop doing his job. The army soldier's not going to stop doing his job. The guy that's out there repairing the roads or picking the groceries, going out there working on a farm, whatever, or doing these essential services is not going to stop doing his job and making his money because the American woman doesn't want him. So at the end of the day, she don't have to deal with a lot of these guys. Okay. The men, yeah, she don't have to deal with a lot of dudes. Okay. Those dudes are going to provide those essential services no matter what. Okay. So I don't think it's that the majority of women, Western women, hate men. Some of them do. Some of them do have a hatred of men. Some of them are terrified of men. But I think at the end of the day, they just don't need men like they used to. The environment is much, much safer. You have all this advanced technology. They have more opportunities in terms of working. They just have way more opportunities in a very safe environment. So the environment is very comfortable. Basically, the issue you have is this: dealing with you on a personal level as a man is an option for her. Okay. She don't have to deal with you. She can go out there and she can get in a marriage with a man. She can divorce him. Um, she can be single. She can marry a woman now if she wants to. She can marry another woman. She can date other women, or she can just be single. Okay. If a woman really wants to, she can go out there and go sleep with a male prostitute if she wants, or a female prostitute. And I know some women. I know a few women throughout my lifetime who will pay a dude for money to have sex with them, or they'll pay another woman. Yes, they would actually just pay somebody to go out there and have sex with them, and pay. Hey, get lost. And these women don't want long term relationships. You actually have women who don't want long term relationships. They just want to have sex. Okay. You have women who use services. They use these services and pay for prostitutes, or they'll go out there and meet some dude for a one night stand. Hey, thank you, get lost. Okay. The point of the matter is they don't have to deal with you. So the issue to me isn't so much social engineering, turning women against men, because they weren't receptive to any woman who's not receptive to that. It won't work on anyways. Okay. And if we were talking about decades or centuries ago, social engineering wouldn't have mattered. Okay. Back centuries ago, where women, really needed men more, and they were not in a comfortable an environment, that was social engineering wouldn't have mattered. Okay. The fact of the matter is that they have way more opportunities. They got their own money, their own car, their own house. They can vote. They can go do this. They can go over here. They can go over there. You know, they don't need to rely on a man the way they used to. Okay. And as more and more of the society opens up to the women and they get more and more capabilities to do different things, they're really not going to have to deal with men like they used to. Okay. Like I said, men may still be the ones who keep the country going through the infrastructure or these certain important jobs, but those are the men they don't have to deal with directly. Okay. The guy who's building, the men who are building the houses, they don't have to deal with them. They're not going to stop building those houses. They're not going to stop repairing the roads or maintaining the electric grid because they ain't getting no action from no women. No, those type of dudes will go out there and they have to pay for it or whatever, or get a prostitute. They don't care. These women, the majority of women don't have to deal with those guys. They're going to do what they have to do regardless of that. So the issue is not social engineering, man. The issue is that you are an option now. Like I said, you are an option that they don't have to deal with. Okay. And like I said, I don't think the majority of women hate men. Some of them do. Some of them don't care. And like I said, the majority of them, you are an option. You are an option. They don't have to bother with you. Okay? They can get up. They got their own money, their own car. They don't have to deal with you. Okay? You got women, I know women, man, who flat out will say, hey, I go get a sex toy. I know women who teach their young daughters or their granddaughters, hey, you don't need no man. Get you a job, get you some money, get you a sex toy. You don't need him. You don't need no man. You just need a sex toy. Get your money, get your material stuff, get you a sex toy. That's it. Or go date you a woman. I know people who've actually tell their daughter go get them a woman. That way you don't. That way you going to college, you going to school, whatever. You don't got to get pregnant. You can go have sex without getting pregnant. See, the thing is, to them in their mindset, men are an option. They teach these young girls when they're in high school, okay, or college or whatever, that men are an option. Okay. The man is not the most important thing. It's not the husband, the kids, the family, then education and all other stuff. It's your education, your good paying job, and if you want a man, if you want the children, if you want that other stuff, all that other crap is an option. And to be honest with you, a woman now can go out there and get children without dealing with a man. She can go get artificially inseminated. Heck, or she can go adopt. She can go get into a lesbian relationship and adopt, or she can even have a one night stand with a dude. There's plenty of dudes out there who are more than happy to go smash and run bounce. Okay, if she wants to, she can go out there and easily find a dude with a one night stand in a bar somewhere. Let that dude pound her, and never see him again. Okay, she don't need any relationship with a man. So I don't think the majority of women hate men. I think, like I said, some of them do. It's just that dealing with a man in a personal relationship now is a option for them. They don't have to deal with you like that, and that's kind of why you see the personalities that you do. That's why you go out there as a man and you see when you interact with women who ain't interested in talking to you. You don't exist to them. Some of them are nasty, some of them are nice. They don't need to deal with you. You are not a necessity for them. Okay. You're not a necessity. Sorry, you're not a necessity for them. Okay. And that's why some of them act the way they act. Okay. Some of them are disrespectful. Some of them are rude. Some of them, you don't exist to some of these women. They'll talk to you like trash. They'll assault you or do whatever because you're not a necessity for them. They don't need you. Okay. They don't need you on an individual level. The men that they really rely on, they don't have to deal with. Okay. The woman gets up, let's say she needs the police. She ain't got to date the police officer. She ain't got to really be nice to him. She just call him when there's a problem. He will come over there. Him or the other police officer will come over there and do what they need to do. And they out. That's it. She don't have to date that guy or marry him or do nothing with him. So that's kind of what it comes down to, man. And unfortunately, this video I was watching, the guy was talking about how to fix this. There's no fixing it. It's no going back. Okay? There's no going back. There's nothing you're going to do now. The genie's out the bottle. And quite frankly, man, I know somebody might watch this video and say, oh, well, you're saying we need to curtail women's opportunities. No, I'm not saying that at all because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in limiting people and their opportunities. If somebody is only with you in a relationship with you or treating you with respect or only loves you because they basically they have to do it. They don't have any other options. But I don't know if that really is a relationship. That really was a true, real relationship to begin with. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think the relationship between men and women centuries ago that you actually ever saw the real relationship. Okay, I think you're seeing things now the way they really are. Okay, I hate to say that for a lot of dudes. I know that may make them unhappy, but you're really seeing what women really think about you when they don't need you. When they don't have to interact with you. They don't need you. That's when you see what people really think about you. And I think this is the real relationship. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some very nice, sweet, kind women out there. But I think now what you're seeing is the reality of the situation that, they just don't have to deal with you. Okay, they don't need you and they don't have to deal with you. Simple as that. And dudes are gonna have to just adjust to that. But it's never going back to the society where all women was respectful and love dudes, or this stuff you saw on the Waltons or these TV shows. Nah, man. I mean, that's just my thoughts. Okay. But if you think the relationship between men and women now is the way it is just because of social engineering through entertainment or whatever, or popular forms of media, you're pulling a Jedi mind trick on yourself. They live in a very comfortable environment and they don't have to interact with the average dude. Okay. They don't need the average dude.